Welcome back, everyone. Today I have another video, and this time I'm doing on-person video. However, this is not a deck profile. I'm just want to talk about over the cards that are very important for Sakazuki to win in the Sakazuki versus Enel matchup, and I will do the same for Enel. And also, I still don't have my camera working, so we're gonna have this video without a camera, but we're gonna go into it. I think so. The most important cards in this matchup. You can also add here Kusan, I guess. But, I mean, Kusan, I think, is a very mid-play if they don't attack you first. So, I think the best play that you can do going second, of course, is Borsalino instead of the Kusan, because it prevents you from getting blown out by this guy. Forgot his name. Gadatsu, I'm sorry. And then, but Gadatsu is not even the problem when you're playing against Enel. Like, if they play Gadatsu, you're fine, because that's only one card, and you remove one-on-one cards very easily. That's why you have Borsalino, that's why you have other cards. And then if they only play one card per turn, that's easy to remove. Now, if they play Holy combo, where they have to play two cards, I mean, they play two cards in one turn, that is when it starts to become difficult. That's when the matchup it starts to get out of hand. So then Rob Lushi is very important in that scenario, along with Great Eruption. So you can remove, if it's not one, at least, if it's not two, at least one of them. And then you keep controlling the board until you're able to develop enough threats where if it goes wide, you are able to answer immediately and kill everything, and then keep answering threats one at a time, which is what your deck excels on. Being able to remove one threat at a time, your deck does that excellently. Like, you are able to remove one threat at a time without problems. I guess Rob Lushi removes two, but it's not always that easy, and in the meantime, they're pressuring you with a lot of damage, and that's what you want to prevent when you're playing Sakazuki, at least in this matchup versus Enel. Sabo is good for the same reason that Borsalino is good, because it gives you protection against some cards like Yamato and other things. So I like Sabo a lot in this matchup. Borsalino is really good in the 7th or 8th turn dawn, because it's able to remove, if they only have one threat, you play this guy, you have a win condition now on board, and you're able to remove something. So it's really important in this matchup as well. Or just to remove big threats. This one also removes the big threats very easily. Now Kaido is the best card in this matchup, absolutely. If you're able to get to a spot where you're able to drop a Kaido and you're not gonna die the next turn, and you have a couple of blockers maybe, you win the game, absolutely. And if they haven't been attacking you, you win the game ×2. If they have been attacking you and if they have been like putting a lot of pressure so you don't drop the Kaido, then it's a little bit more difficult, and that's how you recognize a player that is gonna win in this matchup. But the Kaido is definitely what gives this matchup a whole new direction, and the card that beats or breaks this matchup, absolutely. Ice Age and Eruption and Houndblaze, those are very important cards, especially against Enel. Great Eruption is huge against Enel, because you go Ice Age, Great Eruption, you force them to create the life, and then you can attack into the Enel for like X amount of damage to kill it immediately. So Houndblaze is your best answer against Enel, which is the most important card. Trust me, everything gets resolved in the early game. If you're able to stifle their early game long enough to where you have to just remove, you play a 9-drop Yamato, sure, is dead next turn, and so on and so forth. If you only have to answer one threat at a time, this deck is absolutely you're gonna steamroll the Enel player. If you have to answer more than one threat per turn, that is when then it starts to become really difficult. And we're gonna see that in the games, and we're gonna see why I said that in the games that I'm gonna go into. Now, into the cards that actually matter in the Enel matchup versus Sakazuki. You might think that I'm trolling, that I don't like, I didn't put the 8-drops or 9-drops or even Gadatsu in the cards that matter, but those cards don't really matter in that matchup, to be honest. If you're answering just one threat at a time, your deck is too slow. You're not gonna beat Sakazuki at all. Like, as soon as I play a 10-drop Kaido, you're gonna lose the game. So the only way that you can stop a 10-drop Kaido from winning the game in the Enel matchup is by playing Holy Home. If you play Holy Home, then you follow it up with a second Holy Home. I know that's a super dreamy scenario too. But at least if you're able to play Holy Home into maybe Gadatsu to just keep a little bit of tempo into Enel, then you're talking. Then you're applying a lot of pressure. Then you're doing a lot of damage. Then you're doing what needs to be done to beat that matchup. But if you're playing just here's my home and then you don't get to play a Holy, then it's really bad. And it's just like, oh sure, I just have to deal with that one Ohm. That's easy enough. I just have to deal with one Enel. Nothing else in the board. Easy enough, as I already talked on the Sakazuki end of the video here, part of the video here. So these are the cards that actually matter. Sure, later on into the game, once you get into the later portions of the game, you have your Yamatos, your 8-drop cost, whatever. It doesn't matter what big threat you drop at Sakazuki. It's just all about that. They have to spend a lot of removal early on, trying to deal with this early aggression, that the bigger threats are able to survive later on. Doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if they get value or not. The idea is that you get to play the bigger threats so they can actually you have attackers to win the game or get some value out of them. So that's why I think Shura is important. Shura gets Holy Home combo, one of the pieces that you're missing, or even an L. And to close out the game, 200 million volts is really good because it taps Cervecas, it taps Borsalinos, it taps a lot of the defense, and you're able to go for game because you have this card. This is just my opinion. You can test it for yourself. We have tested this matchup a lot, and we have come to the realization that these are the only cards that really matter in this matchup that actually win the game. Everything else is just noise. That if you play whatever and I can remove it the next turn, you're too slow to stop me from playing a 10-drop Kaido, and I'm winning the game. But with that being said, let's go see some gameplay. All right, and here we have Sakazuki going first, which is not great, and cycling Hound Blazes and Brevekas doesn't feel great either, but it's fine. Now he attacks here the first damage, and that's what I'm talking about. Like sometimes you don't even want to attack, honestly, because if he does get a trigger or a life there, and then he plays Holy Ohm, that's just a lot of pressure coming down the following turn after that. Like, and then here you cannot attack anymore, because what if he hits a trigger? That's terrible. Well, what if he's a Sanji, hits a Cracker or something like that? At this spot, it will be horrendous, because it not only makes a 6k, it's just not the way to go. You cannot attack on this spot. So you have to go Sabo, draw 2 cards, and then see what the opponent does here. No, and not only that, you also give them the opponent cards. It's just terrible. It feels terrible at any point, of course. Now here, what you don't want to see is a second Holy Ohm. That's when it gets difficult, of course. Now he attacks for 8 here. He blocks the Sabo, and the reason you're okay with this play and even losing the Sabo to these like 2 attacks here and defending the Sabo here is because Enel didn't develop anything else this turn. And again, what you want to do with Sakazuki is get to a spot where you're trying to do one-on-one removal. If the opponent forces you to do 2 removals, then is when it gets a little bit more tricky to be able to keep the board clear, and then they get advantage on any attack, and that is when it gets difficult, when you have to do 2-on-2 removal. So you're trying to just take cards out of the opponent's hand, and here he doesn't have 2k, so you get to take 3 cards out of the opponent's hand here. And use Ice Age, the leader ability, and you still get to KO both. Now, you do have to use Ice Age here, which sucks, because in this matchup is really important. But I think it's worth it to just keep the board clear and try to just go from there, of course. He does still have a couple of cards that are good here. And Enel is going to put you to 1, which is not great. But at least we did get a second Ice Age here. So that's really good, because now it allows us to punish the opponent if he wants to use the Enel's ability. So we do Enel, KO it with the leader ability. Now attack it, and then use a second. Okay, so here's the thing. Sorry, we were debating here. Again, we're playing multiple people because we're trying to decide which is the best play. The best play here, he attacks and he defends, right? Now that he committed in defending the Enel, Now you can attack the Enel for 7 with Sakazuki, and if he lets it go at that point, then you KO it with the Lushi. But if he doesn't save it, then you get to play a Rebecca, get a counter, and then play defense a little bit here because you're not in the best spot. But since he had so few cards in hand, this is just great. And then playing the dragon here is great because 1, he's a 2-life, so he doesn't have the card that taps the Rebecca, and then he's not gonna be able to go for game that turn. It's really difficult. Like, he has a Thunderbolt, but even then you just drew 4 cards, so it's gonna be really difficult to actually go for game. And then also if you just have a free block on Rebecca at this point, and then if he has an Enel, you still have a lot of counters in hand, and you don't know, he's drawing 4 cards. It always feels bad to push through a Kaido too hard, and then getting out countered, still being a 4-life, and then they get tuned up with the Kaido and with removal. That's when it gets really difficult. And here we just get to, since he didn't attack with the Yamato, we get to play a little bit more passive as well, and we get to play Rebecca, double blocker, and then we keep putting the opponent on checkmate here. Now we put it at 1, we put it at 0, and he does get a Sanji, but we're gonna put the opponent at 0 and force him to go for game. Now we have 1 life, 3 blockers, and a bunch of cards in hand. It feels like it's not really possible to go for game at this point, and the Rebeccas have protection from destruction, like the effect destruction. So we do want to protect with the Rob Lushi, and this opens an avenue to go for game, but not really. I mean, again, we had a lot of counters. We still had the Sabo blocker, which cannot be tapped. So again, we had a lot of avenues to just not be able to go for game. And from here, it is just a matter of what you want to do. You want to KO the board. You want to attempt to go for game. He only has 3 cards, so you can easily have attempted to go for game. The problem with doing that is that sometimes the triggers, like if he has a Beige and then a heal life or something like that, it could be really bad and you lose on the spot. So if you can take a spot where you are gonna guarantee win, probably, it's always almost better to do that. And he didn't have too much counter here. We used the Home Place to do to pump the Lushi and the Kaido, so he has to block and combo out of the Lushi, which he didn't have too many cards in hand, so that's still very good. You still keep up 2 blockers, and now you only have to deal with 1 Yamato. So this was a better play in our book, because if you go for life and then you get triggered out of life, you are the only one who can blame yourself for losing that game. And then he attacks for a bunch here, and maybe you should have blocked the Yamato here, to be honest. That's something that we didn't account for, because if he does have the tap ability on the well, it's hard to play around both cards. Of course, it's hard to play around the tap, the 2000 volts, and the Thunderbolt, because one of the others is gonna kill the other one depending on what you block. So, but I think it's better to just combo out of the block the first attack, the Yamato attack, with the Borsalino, and then if he does have Thunderbolt, you combo out of whatever value you have. That would have been the cleaner play here, admittedly, because he could have tapped the Borsalino, and then taking that life could have actually meant that we lose the game. So you have to be careful on that end. But this was still a decent game, of course. All right, so Enel is going second on this one, and we're gonna try to see the aggressive matchups here. They don't have a turn 1 play, of course, and I mean they could have the guy that draws a card, and we're trying different cards here. I think we're playing more big bombs here right now, just to see how good it is in this matchup. Because I mean, we've heard like the 7-drop is just amazing in this matchup. I don't really think so. The big bomb 7-drop I don't think is good in this matchup. But we wanted to test it out, of course. Give us ourselves definitely a definitive answer on that end. And then here, Holy Omb, perfect. That's the best opening that you can have again. And then a second Holy Omb is just... And here does have the Holy, so this is where you should stop attacking. Don't attack anymore. That's it. You got it. And then here again, if you see the 2K counter that we played there, it's just a navy. It's just a searcher for brand new. It's not necessarily that we're gonna play that card. We're just trying out the deck with a little bit more 2K counters, see how it feels. But now here, he just look at how many attacks he gets to do this turn, and then play a second Holy Omb. That's just disgusting. This is the matchups where they win. They go Holy Omb, and then Enel, double Enel. That's just incredibly difficult to beat. And then you don't even have anything decent here to just like try to come back from that. So if you wouldn't have attack early on, it would have been actually a little bit better. But now he desperately needs a Rob Lucy and be able to kill both things. And he needs to deal with everything here, or else it's just going to be really difficult. But then also the other cards in hand are going to be really difficult to beat, because this much aggression, and then you're at 2 life now. You have to deal with all these cards, and then you have to deal with the Holy Omb on board. Like, there's just a lot of things that need to happen this turn. And then you have to keep that up for the rest of the game, where you have to remove the Yamato, you have to remove the 7-drop, the 8-drop that are coming. So that's just the way. That's just what Enel wants, where they can put you in this spot where they can. Then you're forced to remove these cards. You're definitely gonna just combo to that one, because you're forced to remove those cards. And then he kills both cards here. And then I was thinking it was better to use the Great Eruption, but you still have to use the Great Eruption this way, because you cannot do minus on all of this and still be okay. I mean, it's still use Great Eruption. You have to do it in a different order. And we were arguing what was better here. And what I think was better is just attacking for 7 or something like that. But he's just going to combo out of the extra 2K and then keep the pressure up. That's what you have to do on this matchup. This is where it just gets really bad for Sakazuki. With the half Holy Omb. Anything else doesn't matter. If you play Gadatsu is terrible. And honestly, this matchup is no... I mean, it's good if you're gonna not attack them, but then if you're not attacking them, Sakazuki doesn't give 2 flyings about not being attacked. And here, just a take, and then attack for 7. What are you gonna do here against this much pressure? Really, really difficult to control. And then you have to also remove now this Enel, which is very difficult at that point. Now, we do have some good options here. We do have Enel, and we have Sakazuki, and we have Great Eruption. So we do have maybe a way to deal with this, but it's not easy. It's not the easiest thing. You do Great Eruption first, because you get to see a card, and then you get to choose your target based on what you draw. I think doing Enel is good, but it's just very difficult right now. And we do it on Enel. We kill the Sakazuki, because I think the best card that we can do here is Great Eruption. We draw a Kaido, but Kaido is going to be really difficult to play this game, because the pressure is amounting really quickly. Attack for 8. Do this. Do 1 Zuru. Great Eruption on the Enel. See if he wants to take a life, which he should. At this point, why not? And then we do Great Eruption again, I think. Oh, he attacks for 7, and then he does KOs the guy. And then Great Eruption again to KO the Enel and attack the leader. So he takes the last life. And then we put ourselves in a spot where maybe we can go for game next turn. But it's gonna be really difficult here. Now, we do have a Kaido here to draw 4 cards. I'm sure that's a decent play, but it's still gonna be, even if it's a decent play, now with 2 cards in hand, a Kaido is not as threatening as it is when you have like a bunch of cards, and then you also have like a little bit of defense. When you take 10 and then you take 11 and then you lose the game here. The reason they won, it was because the pressure on the early game was so overwhelming that you couldn't deal with that much holy home, and then an Enel on top of that. That's how you lose a Sakazuki player when you're playing against Enel. Alright, and we go here again with Enel versus Sakazuki. This time Enel going second. And we play the Shura going second so we can get the Ohm. We can have the best start possible in this game. That is always the idea with Enel. That's how they win. This is something that you need to get used to, where you go brand new and then cycle. That's just the best option. Although in this matchup, actually, it was the next card would have been the card that you can cycle. So that's kind of funny. The card that you can get out of brand new because he whiffed. So, I mean, it doesn't happen often, to be honest, but when it does, it feels bad. Now, he did find the holy, so now it's gonna be extrememly difficult to keep up with this, especially now that you whiffed, and he got the holy for free. And I don't. Oh, he does have the CP Lushi at least, but having to cycle that Great Eruption is that Ice Age is really bad. He could have used the Ice Age here this turn to clear these two guys, and I think that was worth it, to be honest. But I think he wanted to play the Kusan first. I kind of disagree with this play because I don't know. It just allows him to attack with the Ohm and Holy if he wants to, and then you're gonna have to take a lot more damage for no reason, and that feels really bad. Now, I'm not sure if he did draw another Holy Home, but here Gadatsu, you just play it, that's fine. Now, we decided to not attack, because if we attack, then he can attack back our cards, and then he doesn't attack our leader, and we want him to attack our leader, if he does want to do so, especially now that he has the Kusan. So if he wants to attack our leader, that's fine, because we want to go to 1. I think that's the idea when you're playing Enel. You want to go to 1, you want to hit some triggers, or if ideally you hit some triggers, but if not, you just get to at least take some life, and then from there it's easier to defend the cards that you have on board. And it's not like our board is easy to destroy here. Sure, he might be able to kill a couple of cards here, but it's fine. Now you take 2 damage, and that's fine. You go to 1. This guy always wants to be at 1. Yeah, he was able to clear the board, but he has a few cards in hand. Now we're gonna clear the Kusan, and that's gonna be our best matchup here. Because now how does he get rid of the Enel? Look at how many cards we have in hand. We get to clear the Kusan and the and then play an Enel, and then from there is how Sakazuki loses, where they're trying to kill you instead of trying to kill the board. That's how Sakazuki loses, because they don't have enough gas. Because this leader, when you put him at trying to kill him when they're at 1 life, it doesn't work. Like you can put him to 0 if you want to, but then they heal the next turn and they'll still have a bunch of cards in hand. So that's when it feels really bad. And this play here just completely breaks the matchup here. And Sakazuki hasn't taken too much damage, but that's fine because he has no cards to be able to remove this NL. And then next turn is when they start coming down like the other cards that they need to deal with. So that's why it's very important to play Om and Oli, because Om and Holy, yeah, because they just represent what you need to do to win the matchup. Now he's gonna attack with Rob Lushi at NL, but that's an easy block here, and you definitely want to block because you don't want to use the leader ability when they can just remove your NL. So you definitely have to block, and then you can go to 1 if you want to because you have a Yamato. But that's that's easier said than done, right? You cycle. He attacked our life. Not sure what kind. Oh, he's trying to remove with a nail. But that's fine because we get to play a card for free here. And then we're gonna get to play the Yamato. He's gonna force us to like remove. Oh no, I thought he was gonna force us to remove Enel and like create the last life. And that would be a good idea. Like if he forces me to remove, then the attack is not bad. Even if he does cycle, because I might just combo out of that one. But I felt like I just wanted to combo out of that one. And then the reason we attack for just 7 here is because he does have only like 3 cards in hand. So if he wants to waste the last 2k counter, if he does have a 2k counter, which I highly doubt it because he's been using a lot, then that's fine. But I felt like it was correct to do this way. Now Sakazuki is at 3 life and we were at 1, so we were able to KO the 9-drop anyway. And usually this is a good play here, but it's not as good when you're so far behind on board that the next, like this turn, I'm just gonna be able to attack for like a bunch of attacks. Then it's really difficult to remove everything that you do on board, right? However, I mean, it's still difficult. Like we have to put our board sideways and then see what happens. So it's really bad sometimes. Attacking for 5 is great here. And maybe attacking for 7 was better there. I mean, for 6 on the Enel. But attacking here, I feel is very important. And then healing 1 life here is also very good. Because we get to develop our guy, we leave 1 done up, representing the El Tor. And yeah, now attacking by battle is difficult. And we keep destroying everything. The only thing that he has is the Kaido. And now playing a second Kaido will be really bad for him. And we do combo out of this attack because we want him to remove everything. Like not all forces. Like if he removes the Yamato, that's fine. But if he I mean, that's fine if he attacks for a big number, of course. He has to attack for a decent number, or else just 1 El Tor would be enough. Oh, actually, El Tor is not active. I'm sorry, my bad. That card wouldn't work here. We don't have it, so we were just trying to bluff it in. But if the opponent is aware of how El Tor works, it wouldn't work here. But we're bluffing that we have at least a 2k counter there. I think it gives another extra if the opponent has 2. So I think it works as a 2k counter either way. Now he's probably trying to remove both the Yamato and the Kusan, which is fine because we still have 2 attackers here. So we're gonna push damage next turn, then play a blocker, and then we'll see what happens from there. But we have 3 life, by the way, so we just need to be able to survive here. And he does need to guarantee the kill here on the because we did have 3 2k counters. So if he only attacks for like a weak number, we are able to combo out of that one, and then he has to deal with the Yamato on top of what you have. So this is correct here. And then attacking for 8, probably attacking for 8 here with this guy, because that puts him at 0 life, and being at 0 life is very important. And forcing the block here is better than developing something, because he only has 2 cards to develop here, and he's recognizing how the Holy was like the biggest problem here, because it's just a really hard card to remove, and then it just puts him like where he needs to play a blocker every turn from here on, and he doesn't have enough blockers or anything to survive here. So we go definitely just win the game here for Enel, based on the fact that we have just 3 life. We have a card that is difficult to remove, and he's at 0 life. So anything like if we have, which we did, we have the tap, the attack, and then attack for game. So he needed a specific blocker. He needed to remove cards. Everything was like amassing to win the game this way. So that's how Enel wins the matchup usually. All right, and we're gonna go Sakazuki versus Enel. This one is gonna make it a little bit faster because this is a really long game where both games got to do what they needed to do. So this is gonna be a really technical game, so I really want to showcase this one. And here we go, going first. Going second. Going first. You play this guy so you can get the ump, the Holy Ump combo. Now we have adapted a little bit into like when we need to attack and when we don't need to attack. But this is really bad for the Sakazuki player here, because they can attack, take double strike. Although they took the first damage, so we are at same life, so you don't get the double strike on the Cracker, which is fine, because now you get to just play Holy Omp, and that would be fine enough right now. I'm just gonna attack with the Enel. Don't need to attack with the Cracker, because if you attack with the Cracker, then you just lose hand board presence, and you don't want to do that. Sadly, we didn't find the Omb out of the top, but at least we have the Holy on hand, so we get to develop here, and we force the opponent to deal with our board. They have to deal with the board here, and then they have to attack our leader, and then we'll go from there, of course. Now, it's really nearly impossible to deal with all of this in one turn, especially with just 6 stun. I don't think it's just possible. So he's gonna be able to deal with like half of it, and then apparently he's just gonna leave the Cracker up, and then we'll go from there, of course. But he does need to attack at least our leader, and we take some triggers out of life there. But it seems like he's just not gonna deal with the Cracker or anything this turn. They want us to attack, so he did exactly what you need to do, which is not attack with Enel, because that with Sakazuki, because that would be like a terrible play here. Activating the other 3 cards, like activating the double strike on Cracker and making Ohm like more threatening that he is already. That would be really bad for him. However, because we're going first, we do get to just play Enel and attack. We still don't need to attack with any of our cards on board, because that just makes another extra card that the opponent has to remove and has to attack us to remove it, which is great because we want to take the life and we want to be on this spot where we're going to attack. Now, some would say that we're playing too passive playing this deck. It's just we know that if we attack with everything here, sure, he's going to combo a couple of cards here and there, and then he's just gonna attack with the leader, with the Sakazuki into our cards. We're gonna have to pitch our hand. We're gonna have 0 cards on hand if we attack with the Holy Ohm and all of these cards. And then they're gonna remove them anyway, because they have this guy in to remove it. And then on top of that, they might even remove the Enel, because I mean, we don't have anything else here. So forcing them to remove our cards instead of giving them for free by attacking, I think is the better strategy. If you're playing Enel, you're still attacking, you're still trying to do the pressure, and Sakazuki here is at 2 life, so they're definitely feeling the pressure here. And the idea is that they cannot play the 10-drop Kaido. That's the main goal of the deck, because if they play the 10-drop Kaido, game is over. It doesn't matter what happened. I mean, you have to be in a decently well done position here. And then they do Ice Age, and we're definitely gonna do Enel save it, because again, they have to do multiple removals here to try to deal with their stuff. Then they do attack, we take the life, and then they can attack again with the Kusan, make something 0, and then they can kill 2 things here easily with the guy. However, because he attacked the Enel, we're gonna let it die, because if we crit the life, he's still gonna be able to KO it with the Sakazuki, with this guy, and then if we combo out of the Enel, because he bossed the leader and attack into the Enel. So if we combo to save that Enel, we might as well be losing a little bit too. But here, because we have another Enel, we're able to attack and then keep the pressure up with a second Enel here is very important. And then, yeah, we were able to deal with this Enel. And we don't have too much counterpower, but we have a lot of bombs after this. And that's what you need to do. You need to establish pressure and then play bombs. If you don't establish pressure, you're never going to be able to compete with Sakazuki on a one-on-one removal. That's when they lose like tremendously. Now he's attacking the leader, and we're gonna take the hit because we have a heal on the 8-drop and we have a heal on Yamato. So we want to try to get some a little bit. We're gonna, like any yellow deck, you're trying to get Saki out of life sometimes. So if we would have gotten a Thunderbolt, or we would have gotten something else there, then that would be fine. Now he probably wants to remove Enel, but look at the hand. The hand, first, he doesn't have enough done, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so he does have enough done to play a Kaido. But look at this pressure that we're gonna like do after. Immediately after he plays the Kaido, we're attacking for 7, 7, and at least 5 on Enel. It could be more. And he attacks at our leader. And we should combo out of this one because, okay, so he still plays the Kaido because that card is just very important. But we do get to punish a little bit here by attacking for like at least 7, 7, 7, put him to 1 or 0, hopefully 0. And then being at 0 allows us to maybe deal with what he's trying to do. Alternatively, no, we do have to push here because if we don't push here, well, I mean, there's options. We can also just not push and play a more like we're gonna try to KO you in one turn. It is difficult because he's gonna be able to. Maybe it was okay to push here. I think we're not gonna push here, and that was on my advice because I wanted to see if forcing him to remove all our cards again would be like a feasible play. Because attacking us would be fine for us. Because we have like 3 lives. And then forcing him to just keep attacking us and just trying to go for game. And then we having like more triggers out of life would be good. That was on my advice to do that. And I kind of stand by it, but it could also just backfire really bad. That was just my decision to think maybe it is better to establish this pressure, because if he does have Hound Blaze into something else, he just completely removes our board, and then we are in a difficult spot at that point, right? And then we should probably combo, but we can also just take it and just if he puts it to 0, that's fine. We get a 2k counter here. Attack for 7, and then this is the spot where you want to put this deck on. We can also just heal with the okay, hold on. Okay, then we get probably a counter like Godatsu. And then this is the spot where you want to be with Karakuri, where now we attack with everything. And then once we attack with everything, the opponent is in a difficult spot where they either do you attack or leader and try to go for game, depending on how many cards we have, or they try to focus on our board, and then we might be able to out-combo a little bit, and then we'll go for game. I think it's a decent spot to be on right now. As the Karakuri player, I mean as the NL player, he's only have like 4 cards in hand, 5 cards in hand, so it's not terrible. And now we have the A-drop Karakuri, which is gonna heal us too. I mean, it's gonna heal us with the 2 cost, and we're gonna try to deal 6, 6, and 7. Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna do 6, 6. So he has to combo out of every attack, and then we do 8, 8. So that way, if he blocks, he has to block and completely lose the blocker. Now, yeah, comboing that one, which gets tapped, is better. And then here we get to heal the last one, and we put the opponent on. Look at how many cards we have in hand. You better do the right numbers and try to kill us with what you have on board. Or what are you gonna do? You're gonna attack our board. At that point, we're okay with him attacking the board, because that gives us an extra turn where we might be able to draw like a tap your blocker attack for game, or we have like different ways to go for game at this point. So this is a difficult decision for a Sakazuki player, and this is the spot where you like, if the Sakazuki player drew perfect, like with like certainly like most of the cards that he played were good, and they were able to keep up with the board. Now we have to keep up with the what he's trying to do the same, right? And then attacking for the right numbers is not always correct, especially when we have 7 cards in hand. And actually, we do have a lot of counters, so he could just okay. So he goes for the board, so that gives us an extra turn here by doing this. I think we were a little bit confused as to what he attacked. So he attacked the A drop, which is fine. He might be able to remove the second one, but he also needs to play blockers here. Because, I mean, this is a lot of pressure here. So he plays a second Sabo, which is good, because now they don't die to Thunderbolt. And then gets a little bit more counter power. And that's the thing, like, if somehow you get triggered, like you get a Bage out of life, and then the attacker that you want to go for game doesn't go for game anymore, that's the kind of things that yellow like tries to do out of the top of their deck, of course. That's how they win, that's how they eventually just try to go for game, of course. Now here, he's going to do Home Place, attack the Ohm. And ideally, we get to our combo out of this one, so we have an extra attacker. But this is the last turn, we're going for game next turn. So comboing out of this one, it would be in our best priority if we do have the cards. We'd let it go, I think... Oh, because we're going to heal with Yamato another turn. So we can just attack with Enel, and heal with Yamato. He has few cards in hand. So attacking, and attacking with Enel is fine. We don't decide to attack with the 7-drop. Although it could have just been attacked with the 7-drop and then let it die. And then we have like an extra turn here. That could have also been good. If we don't decide to attack with a nail, again, we have a lot of cards in hand still. And now we have 3 life. So we're trying to set up for a turn where we can go for game. He only has 2 cards in hand. So it is becoming really difficult to survive another turn. And with 3 life and that many cards in hand, it's difficult to go for game. We have 2k counters. We actually have a lot of 2k counters. So we're trying to play as smart as possible. Trying to play around. Like it's really difficult for him to remove another Yamato and another Enel here. So yeah, we try to maybe combo out of this one because we don't just want to go. We don't want to take damage when we don't have to. Now, I mean, we could take this one, just trying to bait him into going for game, maybe. Triggers out of life, affect the result here. And I think we do hit 1 out of life. We hit the Sanji, which is pretty nice. And a blocker that, I mean, admittedly, if he has exactly Hound Blaze Eruption, could be really bad. And then now that he tapped the Sabo, it's telling us he might be going for game. So we need to defend aggressively and trying to not take the last life. Here I could consider blocking with Sanji if we don't get to do... If we don't... I mean, depending on what he does here. And I think he did get the Hound Blaze, so he might actually attempt to go for game. Really difficult the spot to be on for either character. But he attacks with Sabo, and we have to just play block with the Sanji. Because we don't know what's going to happen. If he does Hound Blaze, then we might be in a really difficult spot. However, he does play 2 blockers here. And he was able to attack with the other 2 blockers. And now we just don't have any more time, I don't think. I mean, we have 3 cards, but I don't know if that's enough counter power to survive here. We have to go for either game, but it's difficult when they have 3 blockers and we didn't get any tappers. So we might just play the Sanji as a blocker and try to deal a little bit with the board. That could be the other option. And see if he maybe does Hound Blaze. Okay, so he does that ability, and we play the Sanji, and we try to survive 1 more turn. I think is the best thing that we can do. He does have Hound Blaze Great Eruption, and that just closes the game. I think if we drew Thunderbolt or the tap ability, we would have won as Enel here. But at this point, it is too difficult. And it was the next card, by the way. The tap ability would have been the next card to win. And but here, yeah, it's impossible to survive here another extra turn. Unless we get like a Bage here. And then something weird. But no, it's really difficult here. But yeah, it was a good matchup. I mean, there were a lot of decisions that we maybe could have taken better. Maybe not. it's difficult to say. Because we were trying to play around each other's better plays, I think. And this is something that just is just subjective at this point. Whether one decision was better than the other one, based on what the other opponent is doing and what the other opponent was drawing. Like having on 2 cards exactly Hound Blaze, greater option Hound Blaze is difficult when you have used already so many at the end of the game there. So, I mean, you take it for what it is, right? All right, everyone. If you agree or disagree with anything that I said, please do let me know in the comments. Try to be respectful with anyone who has a different opinion or has anything to say about it. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think. That's what our testing has come out to on this matchup. If you have a different way that you beat Sakazuki, that you beat Enel, let us know in the comments. The idea is to help everyone in the community, or no, don't do it. With that being said, thank you all for watching and have a good day.